So, first topic here, we're going to talk about something interesting that I heard. I was listening to the Colin Cowherd podcast, and he was talking with, I think the guy's name is Danny Parsons. He's another Fox Sports 1 guy, and they had a pretty interesting football discussion. They do that now and again. And they began talking about Jaden Daniels, how good he was last year, what his future kind of holds. And basically they came out at the end, and I'll play the clip, and said that this is the golden age of NFL quarterbacks. So I said this might make an interesting topic. So I kind of wanted to talk about that, as you can see from the rundown there. Talk about that, get Transformers' thoughts on it, get you guys' thoughts on whether or not we're seeing the golden age of NFL quarterbacks, or are there other factors at play that are making it appear that way. So let's hear what they have to say, and then we'll get back to it.
I think Jaden Daniels had the best rookie quarterback season of my lifetime. I think he was better than Herbert, who set the touchdown record.
Better than Andrew
Luck. RG3,
no question.
Cam Newton.
Especially if you look at his third down and fourth quarter numbers, they're Joe Montana, his 11th year in the league.
They led the league in fourth down conversions. Fourth down conversion with a rookie quarterback. They led the league. It was remarkable and then he won playoff. He went to the NFC Championship game. But the guys who've had amazing rookie seasons recently, Justin Herbert, it's been up and down. CJ Stroud this past year, he won another playoff game. I don't think it was all his fault. He was staring at the sky so much. His offensive line was a disaster. Diggs got hurt. Tank Dell got hurt. Nico Collins got hurt at various points. But CJ Stroud did not take another step from his rookie year. Well, we could say plateaued. If Jaden Daniels takes another step, like the year 2 in the system, year 2 in the league jump, well, then he's going to win MVP. He will win MVP, like Mahomes won MVP his second year in the league, like Lamar Jackson won MVP his third year in the league, second year in a system. Like he will be the MVP of the league.
Well, also, if he's great, not to interrupt, but if he's great again, then we have found our top 5 quarterbacks.
Correct.
Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, Jaden. Because we all like Jalen Hurts, but we're like, well, the line.
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous still. Eagles fans kind of bother me with this.
But I don't remember a time. Most of my life, there have been 3 great quarterbacks, maybe 4 in the league, and then it kind of peters out. To have 5 first ballot level Hall of Fame talent, if Jaden comes out and even duplicates last year with much better players around him, then we've got 5 first ballot guys. And by the way, now I'm moving because of his mobility. I'm moving Stafford to 6th. And I believe especially if he could get in that Super Bowl circle again, win or lose, you're going to have a hard time keeping him out.
I think Stafford, now that he has a ring, is pretty. I will be shocked if he's not a Hall of Famer with where his numbers are going to end up.
He's not far from his prime, okay? For him to be the 6th best quarterback in the league, mostly because he doesn't move. The other guys move. The NFL, like I've said this, we're in the golden age of quarterbacking, folks. Like, if he's 6, if Herbert and Hurts are 7th,
can we not forget about Herbert?
We are at an all-time high.
I think Jaden Daniels had the best rookie quarterback season of my lifetime. I think he was better than Herbert, who set the touchdown.
It was on loop. But anyway, yeah. So what are your thoughts on what we heard, man, in terms of, I guess we'll start with, do you believe we're in the golden age of NFL quarterbacking?
So as far as my lifetime, I mean, the peak of having a multitude of quarterbacks, I would say would be the Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger. That's 5. How many do we got now? They said Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes.
These guys in the thumbnail, Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson.
Okay, thank you. I didn't even see that right there.
Yeah.
And we're already putting one in there, even though he hasn't solidified himself yet. So he just had a great rookie season last year. Right. So I would say no, not yet. Because right now, the 5 guys I named from that era were surefire Hall of Famers. With all of them except Aaron Rodgers playing right now, that are retired right now. All of them, multiple Super Bowls out of all of them. Drew Brees got 1. Peyton has 2. Tom has 7. Aaron Rodgers has 1. Ben Roethlisberger has 2. Yeah, he won run as a rookie. So he has 2. So all those guys have Super Bowls. out of the list that we have up right now, only one has three Super Bowls. So I wouldn't say the golden era of the quarterback when that era with 5 of the same 5-on-5 right now have all of them have Super Bowls. All of them have multiple MVPs, except Drew Brees. He doesn't have one.
Great point.
Yeah. So like
if you want to go just a little further and the Super Bowl.
Exactly. So on this list, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen, they got your 3 MVPs. The 4th right here is Joe Burrow. He made it to a Super Bowl, but doesn't have an MVP. And of course, Justin Herbert.
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. He's a rookie, so you got to give him time to develop and get up there. So no, I wouldn't say this is the golden era. No,
Daniels, as great as he was as a rookie, and he was great, we could see, you know, a CJ Stroud type season next year where he kind of
the sophomore slump.
Right. You know, defenses adjust to him, doesn't quite take the step forward. Now, in his defense, he also has a team that appears to be making moves to make themselves even better. They're not sitting on it. And as I often say, the great Magic Johnson refuses to associate himself with losing, right? So he may not per se be a football guy, but he's part of that ownership group. And being that he's all about winning, I'm sure he's learning about football and saying, okay, you know, well, let me get in some of these meetings. I'll be quiet and sit in the back, but I'm going to learn. But, you know, the Commanders seem to be making a concerted effort to get better because they're like, and look, let's try to win this thing while Jaden Daniels is still in his rookie contract, which is everybody's goal, right? When you have, you know, a really talented young QB like that, before you have to pay him, let's try to win at least, you know. So,
I mean, in Houston's defense, they tried to do the same. They got him a receiver, Stephon Diggs. Unfortunately, he got hurt.
Yeah,
exactly. They got him a running back, and
true,
the Bengals. So they definitely gave him weapons. It's just unfortunate they got hurt throughout the entirety of the season, and a lot of the times the offensive line was letting him get put on his backside. So, and he doesn't have the spring of I'm gonna get out of the pocket. Like for Jaden Daniels, is more RPO, running a lot of RPO. You know, threatening a lot with his legs. That's not really CJ Stroud's forte. He's definitely a thrower before a runner, and Jaden is a heavy mixture of both. He can throw it, but he can kill you in an RPO.
Yep. So I think when Cowherd talks about golden age of quarterbacking, he's talking about just the sheer number, not necessarily in terms of championships or MVPs, but the sheer number of guys who play quarterback at a high level in this generation. And all that is true. But where my pushback comes, and this is something that it's not that serious said, and I want to go back to this, the defense is absolutely handicapped. You can't really hit quarterbacks, right? You can't hit them high, can't hit them low. And even if you hit them in the perfect strike zone, if it's too hard to hit, they're going to throw the flag on you, right? Because they're saying, hey, these guys make too much money. We got to protect them, right? The product suffers when the elite quarterbacks are knocked out of the game. So they protect them. They protect the receivers, right? So now you have receivers. You can't hit them coming across the middle. You literally almost in every case have to let them catch the ball before you hit them because you're not allowed to deliver that physical hit to try and dislodge the football, right? Because remember back in the day, we noticed coming across the middle, defender arrives defender arrives right when you catching it to try to pop that ball up in the air, and then maybe a safety grabs it and is going the other way.
Put your helmet on the ball. That's what you taught.
That's what you're taught. Yeah, but now defenseless receiver, right? New rules. You can't do that. So there's a lot of things you can't do. And then we look at the percentages. There's so many smoke screens, wide receiver screens, just every offense, especially the West Coast offense, which a lot of guys in the league are running now, some variation of it, have a ton of screens built in, right? A ton of short passes to, boost up that percentage and to allow, quarterbacks to get that confidence to get a few early completions instead of back in the day. There was absolutely great one, Laker Nation. Yes, ask Don Beebe. Boy, did he get rocked. Oh my gosh. TJ Hushmanzada could tell you about getting rocked. What's my
Reggie Bush?
Cinco. Yeah. All these guys coming across the middle. That took heart back in the day. But yes.
Reggie wasn't even coming across the middle. He was just trying to catch a screen pass. Blew up.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Man. So, you're in a situation where receivers are protected, quarterbacks are protected, all those things spike production and spike numbers. Now, Does that mean that the quarterbacks of today aren't really good? No, you look at a guy like Joe Burrow who's constantly going downfield, right? You look at a guy like Jaden Daniels who legitimately is among the top guys in terms of, average air yards per attempt. Lamar Jackson, we see now, who is obviously the most elite rushing threat at the quarterback position we've ever seen. However, he's now right at the top of the league in air yards per attempt. So he's going downfield. Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, so we look at it and we say, there's so many guys, and we're not naming the other guys, right? Your Jared Goffs and your Matthew Stafford, like they said in the soundbite. I'm not a big fan of Justin Herbert, but a lot of people seem to be. So Baker Mayfield, even, there's a lot of really talented guys at the position, and I think maybe that's why they're talking about it being the golden age of quarterbacking. It's just like I say with the NBA, and I know I get blamed for being a guy who is, quote unquote, stuck in the past, and that's fine. But it's so hard for me to give extra credit when the rules are made for you to succeed. You know what I'm saying, Transformer?
Yeah. No, I got you.
And that doesn't mean these guys aren't great, because they are. They are. It's just hard, because you wonder if you had to face a Reggie White coming around the corner to literally rip your arms off of your body. You know what I'm saying? If you had to face a Bruce Smith, I think I probably told the story before. Drew Bledsoe was saying, I think it was his very first drop back in the league with New England. Bruce Smith came around the corner. He said, Bruce Smith put his helmet in my back right between the 1 and the 1. So, you're dealing with a whole different thing. Steve Young talks about, how physical the game was back then, and, how sore you were, Kurt Warner, all these guys. And so I look at it and I say, imagine your Joe Montana's, your what's my man, Dan Marino, all these great guys from the past. Imagine if they're playing today with these rules the way they are. You see what I'm saying? So that helps a lot. I know I'm kind of doing my get off my lawn thing, but I mean, I know that's what some people in the chat are going to say. We got to be real about it.
Get off your lawn.
I know. I'm waiting for Edward to say it. I'm surprised he hasn't said it yet.
It's coming. It's coming. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Historian. I know, Edward. I know. Hey, you my guy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Lake Nation, you got a great take. I like what he says here. CTE. CTE became a big thing, and it wasn't big enough until that lawsuit hit. When that massive lawsuit hit, NFL said, say less, we got it. Let's implement all these rules, concussion protocol, how you can't hit, but you can't hit above the neck, above the shoulder pad, and you can't hit below the waist.
Right.
So that's 50% of the body that I'm trying. I gotta watch out for. Like, I can't even hit him, so I have to hit him from here to here. So not only that, I now have to be mindful that when you're a ball carrier, when you carry the ball, you already shrink that space. So as a defender, I'm like, okay, where am I to hit him if he's already coming at me like this?
Right.
Okay, I can't hit him in his chest. If I try to hit him aim for the ball, I'm going to hit him in the helmet. So either way, I'm screwed as a defender. Now I got to think methodically, like, how is this man going to be running the ball, first of all, for me to even hit him, right? So that does take a lot of pressure off the defense. I mean, a lot of pressure off the offense and major pressure on the defense, because now they got to figure out how to make a tackle without getting a 15-yard penalty.
Right. I was going to bring that up briefly, because it really is frustrating to me when I watch the game and you see the defender coming, and the defender has done everything properly, lined you up perfectly, got the strike zone set, and now they're going to hit you, right? They're in motion. Sir Isaac Newton's first law of physics, right? Object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by an external influence. Cool. So that
was straight out the book, boy. You got that word for word. Good job.
Thank you. So that defender is on the way, lined up perfectly. And now the receiver catches it. The receiver sees the defender. The receiver now what? Hunches up. So the defender is already in motion. Because of physics, they can't move that strike point now. They end up down. The defender in the head, and now the defender is the one who gets the penalty, and it's 15 yards the other way. That is so frustrating.
Very. Very.
That's funny shit, Bubba. I try not to be, man. I try to employ logic and objectivity, man. That's all I try to do. But no, Laker Nation, you're 100% right, man. You're 100. Yep, you're right. You're right. You can't do anything. It's really tough. And somebody was saying, like, it's going to get to a point where the quarterback during games is going to get to wear that red jersey. You know what I mean? So
don't touch him. You can't touch him. It's illegal to touch him. You can't touch him.
Right. Just wave your arms in front of them and try to block their field of vision. It's tough. But no, in all seriousness, though, we still have some. Let me make sure I say this: we have some absolutely amazing talents in the NFL at the quarterback position. We have your Josh Allen, who reminds me of a John Elway / Brett Favre, very much that type. You have a Patrick Mahomes, who's kind of just his own thing. Joe Burrow, who I don't even know. You got Lamar Jackson, who's Michael Vick, 5.0, not 2.0, 5.0, and Jay Daniels, who's chasing Lamar, know, and is incredibly accurate. So really good stuff that we see. And I think that's, what Cowherd was talking about. A lot of guys at the position may end up in the Hall of Fame here, more so than probably any other generation. So it's going to be very interesting to see when guys are done and how they start looking at these Hall of Fame votes, because everybody can't make the Hall of Fame. So now how do you start separating these dudes? Is it only rings? Like, what's it going to be?
I think the ring is going to be the major factor. Like Pat, he's already in there. Pat's surefire Hall of Famer. He's not even halfway through his career.
Yeah, but Lamar Jackson is also a surefire Hall of Famer, and he hasn't even won yet.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 MVPs.
2 MVPs already, and he'll get more. Right.
Yeah. And he's shattering the rushing record at the quarterback position.
But he's also now killing from the pocket too. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, what do you do here? Yeah.
Absolutely correct, man. Absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
But you never gave, like, do you think this is the golden era?
Man, this is hard. No, I don't. I think that these guys are really, really, really good. Like, great. I just think that the way the rules are situated to allow them to have so much success, a lot like the NBA, not as bad because they don't allow you blatant violations in the NFL, but they have situated the rules to really protect the offensive player. And I think that's helping a lot for a spike in the numbers. Think about it. The same way we said in the NBA that we shouldn't talk GOATs, we should just talk errors. And we're going to talk about that on the next topic. It should be GOAT, GOTE, greatest of the era, right? That's what it should be, not GOAT, greatest of all time. So
I agree.
Yeah. So you are definitely on the same page with that.
Yeah. And like I said, I also measure the winning. I mean, because what do you, as a quarterback, your job is to win, right? You're the most important position, right? You're the most highest paid player, right? So all the pressure goes on you when you win, and the pressure goes on you when you lose. As it should be. So I got to factor in the winning. Like I said, the era of Tom Brady, 4 other Hall of Famers won Super Bowls.
That's right.
Let alone MVPs. They won Super Bowls, plural. So only one person on this list has done that, and only one other person has even made it there. So I got to factor that in, man. I really do.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know what, Laker Nation, you're right. With this protection, careers will last longer. But then now, how do you start comparing like statistical totals, right? It's the same thing like we talk about in the NBA. Okay, now because dudes are able to play longer because they're protected more and the rules are different. Now
there's an extra game.
Like, okay, well, right. And there's an extra game and they want another one, right? Yep. So now, because let's just say the next guy, who's the next, Mahomes, we'll say Mahomes. Let's say he retires now with 90,000 career passing yards and he does it maybe in less time than Brady. But because the rules are different, it's like, how do we compare that? You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know if you could say Brady, because Brady is the reason why the rules changed too.
Well, only the can't hit him low rule. But I hear you. Only the can't hit him low.
Brady, you changed one of them rules, so I'm not gonna say too much about you.
No, you're right. You are right, sir. Okay, let's do this. You ready to take a couple calls on this topic, man?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Y'all know the number. We're gonna take 2 calls on this, and then we're gonna move right along, y'all.
Yep. And when you call in, make sure you got your quarterbacks ready.
That's right.
Like if you got a different era, better be name 5. Like me, I was able to name 5. That was easy.
Right.
Yeah, that was a strong era. Now that I think about it,
It really was.
Drew Brees.
It really was.
Not Brett Favre. Like I said, Peyton Manning.
Okay.
Tom Brady.
So check the previous era then. The previous era is what? Randall Cunningham, Warren Moon, John Elway, Dan Marino, Joe Montana. That's a hell of a strong era too, right?
That's a strong era, but you only named 2 champions.
Well, true, but I mean, the thing is, like, there's still a lot of people who have Dan Marino right up there, even though he didn't win.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big Ben's going in the Hall of Fame, Edward. Yeah. Absolutely.
Is he eligible yet? I don't think he's eligible yet.
Next year?
I think maybe.
First ballot.
Yeah.
He'll be first
I think
ballot.
he's definitely first ballot. I mean, 2-time champ. The man, I mean, yes.
He's got the most 500-yard passing games in history, too, believe it or not.
Bro, him and them bumblebees, when they had all, like, not only were they dressed like bumblebees, but they had all the bees. Had Bell, Brown, and Ben. Like, it was, and Brown. Right.
Yeah, the Killer Bees. Yeah,
I remember. Killer Bees. Like,
and like the Killer Bees.
Them folks was lighting up everything. Big Ben should be investigated. For what?
They sure were. Stop.
Oh, the accusation you talking about, Sneed? We won't elaborate. Is that?
I think that's what he's talking about. But that's over now. So yeah, we're not worried about that.
No proof. Gotta quit it. Hall of Fame.
That's it. You know, the glove don't fit.
If the glove don't fit.
There we go, Steve. Uh-oh. Oh boy.
Yeah, because I don't think nothing was improving, Sneed. I don't think he was not indicted. He wasn't convicted of anything. So at that point, it's an accusation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what it is at the end of the day.
Ed Dog is a Steelers, Sneed. So be prepared for those comments. He's going to defend Big Ben.